Yo, what up, niggas? It's your boy Filochko, aka Philco, aka Phil, here reporting live from Russia. Don't ask why. And now I'm gonna get to this video about Dasha Zhukova sitting on a black mannequin chair, and how so many, especially black women, are so offended by this. Now, it's funny because lately a lot of people have been talking to me. A lot of people who subscribe to me are also subscribed to Tommy Sotomayor, and apparently the people who watch his videos, because I don't watch his videos anymore, but they tell me that like he's with a Russian girl, and then they come on to my page and they say I'm in Russian. Of course I'm with a Russian girl. Hi Sasha, say hi.
Hi.
Yeah, people think you're dead, and
No.
Okay, you're not dead. What?
I'm
Jeez.
not dead.
Okay. Anyway, so they tell me about it, and this is interesting because this is a Russian woman. Now, first of all, this Russian girl, does she even live in she doesn't live in Russia. Dasha Zhukova. She doesn't live in Russia, right?
Yes.
She doesn't even live in Russia. But the whole point is, I'm going to tell you just like this. One, people are oversensitive once again. People are being oversensitive once again. This chair that she was sitting in, there's a lot of white versions of the chair. These chairs actually started out as white women. That's how it started out, as white women. Now, the reason why many people are so... Oh, sorry, and her nephew's here, and he's, like, real small, so he's playing with the bell. And what's weird is the bell actually says ring for sex, but he doesn't know that. But anyway, what was I saying? Yeah. A lot of black women look at this and they're offended for reasons that I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings, but a part of it is kind of... That's how some of them feel in reality. Especially in America, where so many successful black men typically marry non-black women. So when they see a white woman, which is like the standard of beauty, especially a Russian one, and she's like the standard of beauty, and she's sitting on a black girl, that is extremely offensive. Extremely offensive. And even to a lot of white people, it's extremely offensive. But I'll tell you now, if it was a black woman sitting on a white woman, it would not be that big of a deal. It'd be like, yeah, you the queen, you know, you the queen, sister, you the queen. And most people won't complain either, because then they'll look racist. But when it's a white woman sitting on a black woman, of course, it's a big deal. Now, what's funny about it is we don't know if it was her chair. We don't know about the other chairs that may have been in the room. Like, you don't understand now. Only thing I want to say to her is, depending on where she did this, she should have known better than that. She should have been smarter than that. Her manager should have said something like, that's not a good idea. If she did this in America, if she took the photo in America or did the interview like this in America, those people are stupid. Whoever gave her that chair and said, sit in this chair, they're stupid. Because they should understand how Americans will react to that. If you don't understand how Americans will react to that, you're an idiot. And I'm not blaming black women or anybody for attacking her, saying it's racist, if this was done in America. Because this was done in America, you should know better and you should understand the history of America and how sensitive Americans are to that stuff. But to be honest, let's say if, I don't know where she did it, but let's say if this photo was taken in Russia, it's a different story. It's a different story. The sensitivity out there in Russia is not like in America, and they don't have the same history as us. So if a white woman just sits on a black mannequin chair, just a white woman sitting on a fucking black mannequin chair, the people in power aren't going to take her job away or fine her or put her in jail or scold her. The people in power don't give a shit out here in Russia. That's not what they're concerned about. And they shouldn't have to be concerned about it, because in Russia has to worry about Russians first. Because Russia is very different than America, and Russia is not in a position right now to be like, oh, we gotta be sensitive to blacks. No, Russians have to respect everybody, just like everyone should respect everybody if you want to have a country with good international relations. But just specifically attacking sensitivity of a race or a minority group of Russians right now, this ain't the time for it. They got terrorism, immigration, and the Olympics coming up there. A lot of other shit to worry about than a white woman sitting on a black woman chair. Trust me, they're not going to give a fuck, and they shouldn't. I agree with them. They have a different country. But if this were done in like England or something, I really don't know how it is over there. But if this was done in America, whoever set that up is fucking stupid. You should know better than that. You should know much better than to put a white woman on a black woman chair in America. You're really stupid. Now, do I feel she's racist? No, but she's Russian. I'm pretty sure the way she looked at it, as most Russian girls out here would look at it, is they don't give a fuck. They're not trying to be offensive. It's just, it's a chair. She sat in the fucking chair. It's a black woman, cool. Now, if it was the average Russian woman, would probably pick the black woman over the white woman to sit in, not because she doesn't like the black woman, and that's why she sit on the black woman chair. No, it's because the black woman chair is more unique. It stands out. is probably more fashionable than a white woman chair because it grabs more attention. That's why she would probably sit in a black woman chair rather than a white woman chair. So that's basically it. I don't really have a problem with her sitting in the chair. It just depends on where it was done. If this was done in America, whoever set her up to do that is stupid. Now, should I guess everyone's probably thinking, oh, he likes Russian women so much. That's why he's not putting any blame on the Russian woman. Well, actually, I do put some blame on her. If she took this photo and did this interview in America, whoever she married, who did she marry? Is he American? Is he American?
It's Russian. No.
Oh, they're both Russian.
Yeah.
Oh, then whoever her manager is and whoever put this together in America is at fault, and I'm not saying they should get in trouble, but I mean, I would boycott their shit if they're an American company. I would definitely boycott the shit because they should know better. There's no excuse. But she's a Russian lady married to a Russian guy, and so she probably just she doesn't have that kind of sensitivity, people. I try to explain that to Americans, but they never want to hear it. They just feel everyone has to be sensitive, like the sensitivity is in America to black people. You have to be sensitive. No! Nobody got to be sensitive to your fucking ass. All they have to do is respect you, respect you within the law. Of any country, they got to respect you within the law. So, of course, if someone hits a black person or attacks a black person, they're breaking the law, they should get in trouble. But there's no law broken here if this was done in Russia. She's just sitting on a fucking black chair. No one's going to give a shit about your sensitivity. There's not going to be a march. In America, sure, they might even, I don't know if there'll be a march, but yeah, they'll be complaining because that's how it is in America. I'm not saying America's more right than Russia. I'm not saying Russia's more right than America. They're different places with different views when it comes to this race shit. Blacks in Russia weren't forced to go to Russia. They're in Russia. Blacks in America, well, obviously, they were forced, and their ancestors were brought there, and we were born there, so we're just as American as anyone else, so the sensitivity has to be different. Just logically, the sensitivity has to be different. And that's really it, people. So, I know I always say that, but I always say more. So don't think I'm trying to say, oh, it's good that she sat on a black woman. No, my point is, if it was done in Russia, no one gives a fuck. People with power don't give a fuck, so it doesn't matter. You can complain all you want, it doesn't matter. If it was done in America, the people who put it together are stupid, and they deserve to get in a little bit of trouble. And that's it. I'm out. Later.